Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to Poise in Progress. I am your host Aria, and today we are going to be doing part 2 of a 2-part series, the 20s meltdown. In part 1 we went over how to identify if you are in that 20s meltdown or if you've been through the 20s meltdown, what happens during that time, all the feels that you start to encounter. Like I mentioned in part 1, I really said a lot of us go through the same cycle. It's like the first kind of initiation into being an adult, and so I really wanted to break this down for you guys. So if you haven't went to go see part 1, make sure to go ahead and watch part 1 just to see where you're at, so that this part 2 will help you better at navigating that part of your life. So let's go ahead and get into today's episode. All right guys, I'm filming this on a Friday. This is kind of later in the week for me to be filming this because I was really trying to figure out how I wanted to help you guys throughout this process, because when I was going through it, it was so crazy of a time. And I do want to applaud myself for really sticking true to these tips that I'm going to give you guys, so that I can really tell you all the things that you're going to be feeling while you're going through these tips. Before I go in on these tips on how to navigate during this time of being in a very rough spot for you, I will have to admit, you are not going to feel good during this. I want to make that so clear, because this is where discipline over motivation happens, right? Motivation doesn't get you very far. I'm going to be so honest. Everybody says, I'm not motivated to do this, I'm not motivated to do that. When you are doing anything from now on, if you are in your 20s or approaching your 20s or getting out of your 20s and you've never heard this before, motivation is not going to get you to where you want to be. Motivation is a feeling. It's not actually results. Just how you watch motivational videos and they get you hyped. They're like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But when you're in the nitty gritty, the other feelings will start to overcrowd, and motivation does nothing for you. It's based off of the discipline. You will not wake up, do these tips and be like, oh my goodness, I love my life. If anything, you're going to be like, what the heck am I doing? This feels absolutely horrible. Like, why is she telling me to do these things and I don't feel better? It's going to take time for you to feel better, especially whenever you go through this transition. Let's go ahead and hop into step 1. These don't actually have to go in certain steps. These are just things that I kind of thought of. You can do it in any order whenever you're ready. But so first thing I'm going to say is get a therapist, okay? I am big on seeking outside help instead of your inner circle. The reason being is because your inner circle tells you things based off of when they were close to you, not to who you are becoming, not to who you are not anymore. So asking them whether they know your whole situation or not may not be as productive, because they're basing it off of you. I like somebody who has no bias and I can hear their perspective. And also therapists are trained in a way that they don't do things based off of who you are. Like, from your past, they think of what you can be. That's their whole goal. So I'm going to tell you guys my experience with my therapist, okay? I got a therapist as soon as I left school, right? As soon as I left volleyball, I knew I needed some more help. The reason being is because I just knew I could not do it on my own. Now, if you're a person who does not enjoy talking to other people, if you want to feel better, you're going to have to get out of that. I was like that too for a very long time. You also have to realize that some of the stuff that you are avoiding as far as wanting to talk to people can be a trauma response, and that's why you do need to talk to someone. Once I got to school, I was like, I need a therapist. Now, the first therapist I did get, I was not vibing with them, and I said, I'm gonna go ahead and try again. Luckily, my second person was way more aligned. What I liked about it was that she really actually clarified things that I didn't know I need clarification on, especially for my childhood. I am such a I don't think things that happen to me is that bad type of person, and she was telling me no, this was actually bad, so you need to actually deal with it. What that did for me is it helped me actually really go in depth about what I was dealing with at the time. That's why I say it's very important to get an outside perspective, because somebody around you could be like, oh, well, I don't think that's that bad, because they don't have the knowledge. They didn't do a whole bunch of studies off of what actually happens in these families or in these lives and stuff like that. She really helped me, one, do that. She also helped me understand that it's okay to let go of an old life that I thought I wanted at that time. She was like, you can try for it, but like realistically, it's time for you to move on. And a lot of the things that she said really helped me navigate to where I am now. Now, I don't think therapy is something that you have to go through for years and years. I think you should do it whenever you need it. At that time, I really needed it. I stayed with her for about a year, actually. So I was going to therapy for quite a while, and I know it worked because literally I got my friends to go to a therapist. They seen growth in me and they wanted it for themselves. And so I even inspired them to go see therapists as well. If you are on the fence about it, you need to go and just try it out, guys. If you are following this podcast, which I hope you are, you hope you will subscribe and leave a 5-star rating, you will hear me say time and time again, you need to try. Because me trying is why I've been able to look like I have everything figured out. It's not because I had everything figured out. It's because I tried so many things and I found out what worked. I couldn't find out what worked from not trying. This next step, y'all, is so important. It's so important to do. You need to see the growth. You need to physically see the growth. So the next step is to make a video of yourself saying everything you want. Does not matter how little, how big, anything. Make a video, not a list, a video of you talking to the camera about what you want in life. This is when I did this. I remember I was in the parking lot of Planet Fitness and I was just so discouraged. I was not confident. I was so sad, so depressed. And I just was like, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do. This is the beginning stages of me going to therapy. I still didn't really know what I wanted to do in life at all at this point. I was just thugging out every day. So I just whipped out my camera and I said everything I wanted. Literally, to the smallest detail. I think the video itself was 15 minutes long, right? It's 15 minutes long of what I wanted. You know what's so crazy is that I kept that video. I kept it in my hiddens, and every single time I go and I scroll through my camera roll, I'll sometimes go and listen back to it. And guys, I have accomplished over half of those things that I had put in that video. It's so crazy because in that time where that stuff did not look like that could happen for me. When I say it looked like it could not happen for me, y'all, nothing at that time could have told me that the things that I wanted in that video was going to happen. Nothing at that time. And to see that I was in such a dark place and still decided to go ahead and make this video and dream big, and seeing 4 years later how much I've already accomplished is so crazy. I look nothing, physically look and mentally, I am nothing like how I was in that video. And to see that type of growth is so important. Oh my goodness, it's so important. I understand this is going to be really hard for a video for you to make for yourself, because when you are going through a struggle and stuff, you can't really see anything. It's your mind low-key goes blank. It's not even that you don't want anything. It's your mind literally just wants to stay in the negativity. And so it's so hard for you to be oh my goodness, yes, I want that Porsche, I want that new job, I want that new house. It's kind of hard to think that whenever you look at your situation, because at that time, at that point, I only had an associate's degree. I really couldn't use it for anything that I knew of at the time. I was serving, I was living at home. I didn't have a lot of money, going through heartbreak. There was just so much that was going on at that time. It was kind of hard to make that video, but I decided just to force myself, and I could see the emotion. I could see how much I really didn't know if those things were going to come through, but yet they did, even though I had filmed that at a time where that was like not even something I could even believe for myself at that time as well. In part 1, I talked about like, see, you need to find light in something. So even if you don't have something physical to see the light in something, even putting light to your future, something that you cannot see, is a good enough light for you to continue pushing on. You need to find your why. When you are going through that 20s meltdown where everything feels so big and so much, you need to literally get some light from somewhere. I don't think it's smart to connect your light with a person because people let you down. It's smart to connect yourself with something that you can do for yourself. The only person who can let you down is you. Do not count it on other people. You should really point this in a direction for yourself and let those future plans guide you. Let it guide you to the light, out of the darkness into the light. Number 3 can be a little bit hard. We're kind of in a season of like loneliness across the board from a lot of people. Like a lot of people don't have friends in adulthood. A lot of people don't have like family. Like it's kind of crazy, but it doesn't matter who you can do this with. Just like someone who has somewhat of an idea of who you are. And number 3 is going to be get an evaluation from a friend, family, sibling, anything. Like get an evaluation from somebody who you think knows you good enough, right? If you don't have anybody close to you, just somebody that knows you good enough, right? So as I was going through this storm, right, I texted all of my friends at that time and I asked them for a brutal, honest review on who Aria is. Told them to be so specific, like, I don't care if you think this is going to hurt my feelings or anything. I need to know, what do you think about me? I'm going to tell you guys the reason before I tell you guys the results. The reason being as why I wanted to ask is because a lot of times we have a false thought of who we are. Sometimes we think we're worse than what we really are, or we think we're better than what we really are. Having that realization in your 20s, to me, pushes me to be a better person. It pushes me to be better overall, not just with my own stuff, but to be better for how I present myself out to the world, because that is important to me, because I feel like the way you present yourself also tells what opportunities you will experience, right? It was very important for me to get those evaluations on how my friend group viewed me, so I knew what I was working with, right? For the most part, everything that my friends said was actually what I was striving to be like. So crazy, right? I have a problem with thinking that I'm not as good as I really am, right? I think I'm not as smart as I really am. I don't think I'm as consistent as I really am. I don't think I'm as driven as I really am. So hearing from my friends that the things that I was thinking I lacked, that's what they see, that really pushed me ahead. Now, I want to say this as well. If you do not get a good response like how I did from my friends, that should not make you dwell. That should also give you the kick you need to get up and be better, right? If they say you are lazy, you're sleazy, you're not very motivating, or you're rude, that shouldn't be for you to resent what they said. That's for you to understand this is how people are viewing you. And if that's not on your vision board and that's not what you want to be for yourself, you need to change it. You need to change it, because that very thing is probably why you feel stuck and why you feel depressed. It's because that's what you give off. That's what you're presenting into the world, right? But also be clear with what these people are saying. If this same person is saying these things to you and you can tell that they're trying to hurt you, leave them the hell alone. When you're in your 20s, right? I want to speak on this. When you're in your 20s, it's time to be selfish. It's time to be selfish in a way that's going to progress you longer, right? Now, there were some things that certain friends had said that I honestly felt like it was coming from an ill place. Like, I just didn't think they were genuine when they said it, right? Although I just thanked them for what they said, I didn't feel like the need to explain myself. I wanted a brutal, honest review, right? Years later, I really found out that was from an ill place. That wasn't from a genuine place of wanting me to be better or something like that. So we are no longer friends, right? This can also help you weed out who does not need to be in your circle. When you are going through your 20s meltdown and everything is changing, you need to change your circle if they are not for you. I'm going to be honest with you right now. The people you hang around are also the people that can tear you down. You know how many times I clocked my other friends that really didn't like them, and they didn't want to believe it, and they turned around, and guess what? Them friends that did them dirty can't even count at this point. Because there are some people who really don't want the best for you. And so asking that brutally honest review can also help you elevate in the way of knowing who to keep in and who to keep out. You have to be very smart about this. You have to detach your feelings from what these people say, because detaching it helps you understand, is this coming from a good place? Are they really just telling me what they feel? Or are they really trying to tear me down? This was because you kind of open the stage for people to say the real about you, right? So if you open this stage for them, right, they tell you what their evaluation of you is, and they literally say something crazy off the wall, or they say all good things, right? But then they go around and say something different. Leave them. Stop making excuses for people who don't want your best interest. Get them out of there. I don't care how long a friend you are. It's your time to be selfish. Because mind you, this season is trash. You do not feel 100%. You don't feel like that girl, that boy, nothing. You don't feel good, right? Why keep the people that are going to continue making you feel bad? This time is already going to be rough, like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode. This stuff that I'm telling you to do right now, you're not going to be in high spirits. You're literally depressed. So how would you feel in high spirits right now? You don't want to continue having people tear you down, because the point of this is to build you back up. And now step 4 is to try. I have a good friend, and every time I see her, she says, I just admire how much you go on your side quest. She's like, every time I see you, you have done something different. You started something different. And you know what? I take that as a compliment, because obviously she meant it as a compliment. But that tells me that I'm still actively trying to see what works for me, right? I'm actively seeing what is coming up for me, right? Going through those side quests, I end up finding my passion, because I decided to try that weird thing or do whatever. I have literally found things that I really like for myself because I was able to try. So even if you have a small idea, a small inkling to try something new, do it anyways. Literally do it anyways. There's literally no one stopping you, because I guarantee you trying that thing, you learn something that you can use for when you are in your passion. Whatever you learned during that time of going through those random side quests, those random things to try, I guarantee you have learned something that you can use later. And that's why it's so important to try. When you listen to other inspirational videos or something like that, they always mention how much they just did random stuff to see how it picked out and whatever. Even content creation. If you're wanting to be a content creator, which I feel like everyone and their mom is trying to do right now, which, hey, teach your own, right? I mean, I am talking on a podcast right now. People say all the time, I kept trying this and I tried that, and then that one thing stuck. It's the same thing when it comes to your life. Go and try that thing. Quit limiting your brain. I was reading this Substack article about how we literally will put a gel around what we can do, and it's only us. Nobody else is telling us that. It's just us doing that. You know how crazy that is to literally keep yourself stuck from the life that you were meant to live? Do you know how crazy that is? It's insane. It's absolutely insane. When you change your mind from this is a waste of time to everything you try is another opportunity to win, you will go so far, because you have stopped limiting yourself from getting opportunities that are meant for you. Yes, that thing might not have worked, but it could open up a door for something that is going to work. Like, you have to think of things as everything that you are trying and putting your foot forth. You're putting in a new ticket, hopefully to pull out a gold one every single time. That's literally what you're doing. You are trying something new and hopefully you get a gold ticket back. And sometimes you get blanks. Sometimes you get blanks. And that's okay. That consistency literally will build you into who you want to be. I looked at this one TikTok. If you see me winning this year, just know I put in the work. Yes. If you put in the work, you will start winning. I promise you. So, like, going more in depth with the 20s meltdown. Like, the meltdown is really just a breakdown, to be honest. Like, the meltdown is really a breakdown. You are breaking down everything that does not need to follow you into your next place. Start thinking of this breakdown of your life as a transitioning period. So when you go through the first one, so specifically the first meltdown that you go through within your 20s, you are actually breaking down somebody else's life that they try to put on you. You know, because before this, right? Who was in charge? Parents, teachers, coaches. There were so many other people putting their hand in your life, right? Now it's time for you to make your own life for yourself. And that means you got to break away from what other people had put on you. So that's why it's so tough, because you were coming from a place of knowing that somebody else was going to make the plan for you or had a plan for yourself. Because how many times have you heard, oh, I wanted to do this as a kid, but then it changed into this, right? You only had your circle around you, which is peers from school and family members. You didn't have that outside perspective yet. So now that you do, things are starting to change. Things are no longer the same for you. You have your own opinions, you have your own thoughts, but guess what? It clashes from what you have already learned in this life. And now it's time for you to make it make sense for you without other inputs, right? So there's going to be a clash when that happens. And so that has to be broken down. And it sucks. It absolutely sucks. But it has to happen for you to be able to come into your true self. Like, think about the people you've seen in high school. Like, they were one way in high school, but now they're a different way. There was a shift, right? It was a shift in ways because now you have experienced more. You have more knowledge on things. Like, you have more wisdom than you did beforehand. But it's like our brains try to fight for what is comfortable. But the thing is, that comfortable thing wasn't supposed to stay. It was supposed to leave. After experiencing my first transition that I spoke about in part 1, I truly understand that whenever I'm wanting to move to something else, I just know there's going to be a low point. There's going to be a low point because everything that's not needed in that new stage of life has to be broken away in order for me to get there, right? Like, it has to happen. Please understand that you are so young. In your 20s, you are so young and you haven't experienced everything, and you have to be prepared for what you are about to experience. And that's like just working out. Like, working out, you have to break down the muscle and it's sore and and then you kind of feel like you're in a plateau, and the next thing you know, you're like, glutes are popping, abs are here. Like, you can run 6 miles instead of like struggling to do 2 laps around the track or anything. Like, it's now so much like easier for you now. But there was that point where you literally were trying to figure it out, trying to see what meals to put on there, what exercises to do to get you better. Like, it's literally the same concept, right? I'm going to read you guys this verse that I really love. It's Matthew 6 verse 26. Look at the birds of the air. They neither soar nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? No matter your religion, that is powerful. You want to know why that's powerful? Because think about it. Birds, animals, they have predators that look for them every single day. Because everybody has to eat. Everybody has to eat, right? But yet, birds clock in every day at 6 a.m. to chirp. So, they're right there at that sunrise, why do you think that you cannot get where you need to go? Those birds could have been attacked, they had to flee for their lives because the predator's trying to get them, like anything. But yet, at 6 a.m. on sunrise, they chirping. We don't even know what they go through. They literally have to survive. They don't get no grocery store where they can go find their food. Like, they don't get to go to the movies whenever they want. They can't even go get their hair and nails done or whatever. Like, they can't even do that. But they clock in every day at 6 a.m. Bad things gonna happen regardless if you do something or you don't. The time gonna pass regardless, right? I hope you guys enjoyed this 2-part series. I hope this gave you guys some clarity of what is happening in your 20s. Like, I feel like we always talk about 20s this, 20s that, but like, I hope I really broke it down for you guys. I would love for you guys to leave me a 5-star rating on podcast. And also, if you guys can go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.